Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 7th through the 13th. And during that time, we have a last quarter moon, and that comes in on the 8th. And that can be a time where we're wrapping up those things that we started during the new moon. We're doing a lot of reflection as we attain our full potential, also getting rid of negative emotions and just getting rid of any negativity that's in your life right now. We then move into the waning crescent energy for the rest of the week, and that is a time of stability and calm. Definitely a time to be thoughtful and think about, you kind of want to look back on where you've been in this past cycle and start to think about what you might want to change or start when the new moon approaches next week. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Leo. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is don't let your past hold you back. All right, let's see what the Leo Collective has going on for the week. Right. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to pay attention to and notice the language of synchronicity that is occurring around you. So, if this is something that you notice already, then you know what I'm talking about. If it's not, if you can open yourself up to thinking, okay, I'm going to pay attention to the signs of the universe, and they can come in any shape, size. It's just uncanny, all the things that may happen. And this could be, I'm going to use the example of just maybe the radio. When you're driving in your car, if this, let's say you're working on a problem and you've been thinking about it and you're looking for a solution to something, and you get in your car to do something completely unrelated, run to the grocery store, whatever you might be doing, and you're bopping around on that radio dial, and as you're changing the stations, some message just comes through, and it's literally the answer or guides you in a way to get the answer to the thing that you've been thinking about. So that's the kind of thing where if you're paying attention to that, the universe is doing that literally all day long. So if you can open yourself up to seeing those synchronistic things, and it could be that it's just little messages that come through that are there to help you. It could also come in the form of, numbers, repeating number patterns, that sort of thing, people that you run into, just any coincidence, things, something that seems coincidental. But sometimes you look at it and it's like, there's just no way that was a coincidence that happened. So anyway, pay attention to synchronicities this week is what I'm trying to say. So, all right, let's get into this reading. We've got Leo, June 7th through the 13th. Don't let your past hold you back. And your present energy right now is the 10 of Swords. So something that you're done with, and it could be something in your past. It could be something that you're just wrapping up and you're done thinking about it, just done with it, something you're finishing. And what that does, anytime you have a 10 or the death card or something where something's wrapping up and ending for you, it just opens up that space for, for something else, for something new to come in. So let's see what that might be as your reading comes through here. Your current situation is the Knight of Swords. So you may have some sort of rapid message that comes in, some sort of rapid communication that comes in to facilitate this new start. I was saying when you have an ending, there's always like something. It's like all of a sudden this messenger comes in, and let's say that you've just ended a job and this is a job offer that comes in. Let's say that you've ended a relationship and some new person comes in, some new message of something. So again, anytime you have an ending, it just leaves space for a new beginning there. All right, let's see what's at the root of your situation is the Knight of Pentacles. So some action here on the financial or the material front for you. Looks like some sort of action just makes you finish a thing, and there's a message that comes in about it. Pretty simple, straightforward so far. In your recent past, here is the Magician card. So what is it that you've been manifesting, or what new awareness have you been bringing on? This could be that in your past you were thinking, I don't like the way this or this is going, and I want an end to it, and I want to change things. And so here these things are starting to happen for you. It's something that you've thought about in the past. Any change that we're doing starts with that thought. It's not just about the thought, it's also the actions that we're taking. So if you've taken some sort of actions to be done with something, Again, there's some messaging that comes in for it, but it looks like it's something that you've manifested, something that you wanted to happen. So that's a good thing, that you're able to, have that sort of command over manifesting things. What is on your mind this week is the Two of Swords. So some sort, the two is about not really making a decision until you have all of the information. So you might have some information that came in. Again, I use the example of, let's say you ended a job and here's some information that comes in about a new job. Well, you might want to really ponder that. Is this the direction you want to go in with this new job? Is there another job that's maybe out there for you also? And so it's waiting until, it's gathering all of that information until you have enough information to make a really good decision. So it's okay to sit in an area of indecision for a while. Again, pay attention to the universe, because the universe might be trying to guide you in one direction or the other. And if you're paying attention to that, there you go. There may be some reason for that. And sometimes we're not sure. Sometimes you don't see what that reason is. And I'm going to use the example of, let's say that, let's say that you are single and you've got this job offer that comes in and you're like, oh, if that really wasn't what I was waiting, looking for. I want to do this other job, or I've applied here and I'm kind of waiting to hear back. But the universe is really nudging you in the position of this job, and it's almost like it's an offer you can't refuse. The money's right, that hour, everything's right, everything's exactly what you're looking for, except it's not really what you're looking for. And maybe you just go ahead and go, you know what, I will take this job. Let me just do this for now. I need the money. Let me go do it. Take the job, and all of a sudden you meet your future spouse. And they're just at that job. And that's just the reason you were there. So sometimes there's like another reason why the universe is kind of pushing you to a direction that for you, it's like swimming upstream. You're thinking, oh, why? This is not you. There, you kind of have your own pushback, but sometimes the universe is just pushing you in a certain direction for a reason that's really unseen yet. So, had to say that for some reason for someone out there. Anyway, what is just ahead of you this week is, look, your ultimate happiness here with the 10 of Cups. So now we also, speaking of synchronicities, have two tens on the table. So look up angel number 1010. So these are, endings, and also come with happy endings. So, sometimes, again, pay attention to those synchronicities. Why is the universe pushing you in a particular way? Sometimes it doesn't make sense, and later down the road you'll be glad you made that decision. All right, in your advice position, Leo, I've seen this card a lot this week in different positions for different signs, but in yours it's in the advice position. And I'm going to say, when this card is here, I see this, these swords are air energy. These are either messages, words, or thoughts, and that maybe you leave a couple, let's say that, for example, you have 7 thoughts about a thing, but you don't really share everything. This is about holding some of this information back. You might leave a couple of those swords down, and let's say this is at a job interview and you want them to know this amount of information about something. So you just don't say everything, right? You hold it back. You don't start blabbing about how, "Oh, the boss at my last place was a real jerk." That's not the thing to say, right? You're going to hold things like this. Sometimes you don't give everybody quite all the information. Sometimes we're trying to make yourselves look good. So you can be real later after you're hired. So, all right. What is beyond your control this week is, that you are going to have to think through something here with this 8 of Swords. Lots of swords. So lots of intellect, a lot of thinking about things, but also communicating about things, it looks like, too. So many swords in this reading. We do have the other elements, except I haven't seen a wand yet, but a lot of speaking and a lot of communicating going on, and thinking in your week. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid, is the Moon card. So, are you trying to avoid those synchronistic things like I was talking about? That's kind of what the Moon card is. It's about, it's a card of mystery, things that come to us in the dark. It could be a dream that comes to you. It could be an intuition feeling that you're having, that, are you fighting against that? Or is it your secret desire to really go with those things and follow your intuition and follow, those little dreams? Sometimes you have a dream and it seems very insignificant, and a week later you're in that position and you're like, oh, I just had this dream about this thing. So um, just ask yourself, is it your secret desire to pay attention to the universe in that way, in that synchronistic way, in that intuitive way, or do you try to avoid that, especially in your current situation? So ask yourself. There's no, excuse me, right or wrong answer there. Just know the reason for your answer. In your outcome position, is the World card. So it looks like you're wrapping something up. It looks like you're kind of at the end of a cycle here. The Magician the Magician comes after the Fool card. So after you've started a journey, the Magician is there to say, okay, where are we going? But the World card is the very end of the major arcana. So it could be that you're just at the beginning, or you're recently manifested a thing and you're just kind of coming to the end of it, right? And you're just in some kind of cycle there. But ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to make a decision about this week? And look at your overall. Don't let your past hold you back. And it could be that you would have said no to something like this in your past, but maybe there is a reason to say yes to something. Just having to put that out there. What is hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck, Leo, is the card of giving and receiving. So, I do feel like this is kind of an internal week for you to, again, wrap something up. And it could be something that you manifested that maybe you're trying to tweak and make changes on it now. Maybe this, maybe you manifested this ending to this thing, but you need a happy ending now, and you need to figure out how to work that into whatever it is you're doing. But this World card kind of, when we get to this card, this is the card of perfect balance and dreams coming true, and dreams materialized and happening. It's about, fulfillment, and just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like achieving those goals and things, which we are at the end of that cycle. Again, with that new moon approaching, we're kind of evaluating, and look at her looking over her shoulder. Where have I been? And if you're at the end of some kind of cycle, you're going to start to think about what it is that you do want to start when the new moon rolls around. So keep that in mind. Let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final wrap up for Leo. Trying to see if I missed anything there. We've got 10, 10, and that was our only repeating, but go look up angel number 1010, see if that has any meaning for you this week. All right, final wrap up card for you is to speak up. So whatever it is going on, I mean, there are a lot of swords here. Right here, I said you're going to hold some information back too, but you probably do need to speak up, at least with these couple of swords. So whatever's going on, speak up a little bit this week, and maybe talk things through. Get to this happy ending card here. And I think, again, the decision you make, there's no right or wrong when it comes to certain decisions. Sometimes we sweat over things that, again, the universe, if you're paying attention to the synchronicities and those things that are going on, sometimes the decisions seem easier than they should. And again, you might be fighting against a decision that, like I said, like swimming upstream, like something that you're like, that's not really that's not the ultimate thing that you wanted, but there's some reason, the universe wants you to be there. Okay, let's get you a final self-care wisdom card. What does Leo need to do in the way of self-care for this week? All right, and the card for you is to listen. So not only do we have speak up, but now we've got the card listen. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. So maybe, that exchange of speaking up and listening, you've got to do that as well. So make sure that you're doing both. And again, there's a lot of swords here. A lot of communication is going on this week, whether that be just, thoughts, but I do feel like a lot of it is going to be verbal. So whatever you've got going on there, Leo, again, I feel like it's kind of a cycle thing that you're working through, where I wouldn't be surprised to see the Magician or the Fool pop up next week. Almost like you're kind of getting ready to start something, but you're on the fence and a little bit indecisive about something. So anyway, Leo, good luck with all of this. I hope there was something here that you can use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment. Let me know what it is you're going through, and if anything here resonated with you, or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week, where you're welcome to come on back and let's see where this energy goes. So thanks so much, Leo, for your time here. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.